And so this is the online on the land project that you are currently a part of. I would like to take this opportunity to ask everyone to share where they're from. So if there are people that want to pop on the mic and introduce themselves, that's great. And if you feel more comfortable sharing that in the chat, that's also wonderful. My name is Julia Coleman, and I come from Mohegan-Sagaigan Wolf Lake First Nation. And I see that we have some people from all over. We have Katie from Toronto. Oh, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, my name is Charlotte Constant. I'm from Opaskwayak Cree Nation in Manitoba. Hi.
Thank you, Charlotte. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? Am I good to go? Wajan I'm Damien Morin Singasun. My name is Damien. I come from Mushkegonish First Cree Nation in Quebec. That's off the coast of James Bay, Hudson Bay. Great to be here.
Awesome. Miigwech, Damien, for joining us today. You see we have some people from Toronto. We have Amy from Luxville, near Ottawa, sorry. We have Petra from St. Catharines. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Ashley from Kitchener. We have Jane from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. We have some people from Scarborough. And we have Christine, who's a teacher in New Liskeard. Oh, but you're from TFN. Hey, super close to us. I love it. And we have our elder, Neil Maneg from Christian Island. See that someone's having an issue with not being able to hear anything. So what you can do is go up to find the little microphone button, and it'll prompt you to connect to audio. And if you're having issues, then try signing out and signing back in, and it will prompt you to set up your audio to hear. There's also an option to call in. And I will try to increase my volume so you guys can hear me. Thank you, Lori, for that. Maybe if I speak louder, is this better? Should I yell? Anyways, welcome everyone. I'm always happy to see everyone from different parts of our nation, and it brings me a lot of joy to see all of us coming together, whether you're Algonquin, Ojibwe, Cree, any number of our brothers and sisters. It's just nice to see you all together. So miigwech for coming, and I hope you enjoy our session today. Oh, last one, we have Charlotte from Moose Factory. Hello, Charlotte. Awesome. So just a little bit about our project. This is a 7-week hybrid series of cultural activities that happen online. And these sessions always include an elder or a traditional knowledge holder that provides the teachings and in-person instruction on how to harvest these materials respectfully from the land. Today, our workshop includes flour and all kinds of different foods that we're going to be using to come together. And we are going to learn how to make traditional foods today. So that's pretty exciting. I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce our team to you. So if there's new members signing in today, we have an elder that guides the project that helps me move forward. So we have Elder H. Maneg from Chimnasing First Nation. He's on today. You'll be able to see his face, maybe not so grumpy. Can I have a smile, Neil? No? Oh, he's hiding today. Okay, real shy. And your program lead is myself, Julia Coleman from Mohegan-Sagaigan. And the mentor for the project is Joey Lynn Wabi, also from Mohegan-Sagaigan. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank our funder, the Ontario Indigenous Youth Partnership Program, So every year they do grants that allow youth to provide youth-led programs for Indigenous youth in Ontario. This was one of many projects that actually got funded this year. They're always looking to take on new, new projects. So if you have an idea for a project that would assist Indigenous youth with either reconnecting with their culture or connecting with the land or just promoting their mental health, you've got an idea, send it to them, send a proposal in for next year's funding, and we will link their website in the chat as well for you to go check them out. And so we're going to do the introduction for our session today, which is Cooking with Kokum. Super excited to start learning how to make some oven bannock and a simple jam today. I will be sharing the recipes in the chat as well. So you have them on hand for afterwards, and these resources will also be available in that Facebook group that, that will have this recording afterwards. So if you're just signing in, we are recording this session and it will be provided in our Facebook group, the land online community, and it has all of our previous sessions and it will have our future sessions as well. And speaking of future sessions, next week on Friday, we have Teresa Wemigwans, who's going to be teaching us how to bead. So we'll be beading some birch bark earrings next Friday as a part of our Beading Together workshop. And that is it. So I will be leaving it to our facilitator today, Auntie Kokum.
Koi koi, Ziguan Gwen Adijnakas, Atik Dogem, Chelmsford and Dinjaba, Wolf Lake First Nation, and yeah, Algonquin Anishinaabe Kwe and Dow. So my name is Joylyn Wabi, but today I'm Auntie Kokum. So welcome, being again to my kitchen. Does anyone know how to say kitchen in Algonquin or in your language? If so, put it in the chat and Julia will pronounce it. Unfortunately, my phone and my computer is too far away for me to read the chat, so she'll have to do that for me. So again, welcome. So today we're making oven bannock, so bread. So I know it's Pequajigan in Algonquin. Yeah, so we will get started. So first thing you're going to need to do is turn on your oven. So if anyone is actually out there making this with me, that would be so amazing. If not, that's okay. You can watch the recording and do it, make the scone with me again. Yeah, so oven, preheat to 375. So I've already done that. I just did it before I came on here, so that started. So this recipe is not mine, and it's Pudge from Timiskaming First Nation. I love you, Pudge, and I'm sharing your scone recipe with everybody. So first what we have to do is measure out 3.5 cups of flour. So I have my 5 roses here and I have a little bit left over here, so I'm going to start with this one. A little bit about scone, or sorry, I keep calling it scone. I live in the Ojibwe territory. They all call it scone here, but back home my mom always tells me, Joey, you know, it's not scone, it's bannock. So bannock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 3.5 cups. And a little trick that I usually do, and probably lots of people know, is you can use this to level it off. Hope you can see this. So you just swipe it like that, and then that will be a full cup. So that's one. I'll put it in my bowl. Oh yeah, so about bannock, which is interesting, is that a lot of people believe that it's a traditional Indigenous dish, and that we've had it since time immemorial. And I think that that is true to some extent, because really we've always had like access to corn and other things that we're able to make a certain type of flour to make something like scone, but nothing like the way that it's made today, right? So I'm just going to put this over here. So we know that when people came over here from Europe and all those other places, that they actually brought these types of foods with them, right? So the white flour is one of those things that they brought with them, and it's something that I'm using right now. So I don't really see it as this type of scone or bannock or whatever you want to call it as a traditional dish. I see it more as a survival food. As you know, our people have been here since. You can tell I have my fan on. It's like blowing everywhere. I can give myself a facial with this. What was I saying? I can't remember. Oh yeah. So about this. So this was brought over, as I said, from Europeans, and the way that it happened was part of it was that was one of the survival foods, and again, I see it as a survival dish or survival food, not so much as a traditional food. So it's something to think about as you use this. And there's many ways that you can make scone. I keep calling it scone. Bannock, right? So you can make it like the way we're going to make it today in the oven, or we can make it. We can cut it into little pieces and fry it in oil. That's another way we can make it. And lots of people have their own recipes, right? For scone. Oh, I'm just going to call it scone. For scone. And I know some people put eggs in it, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And some people will put sugar. And my friend, actually, Dr. Celeste Pedri-Spade, she talks about how there's differences between bannock and scone and fry bread and all of the different, different breads that we have from the different nations. So that's interesting also. And she is from Lac de Molac, up near Thunder Bay. Sorry about that. She's up and lives near Lac de Molac, and she actually works right now in Kingston at the university. So I put 3.5 cups of flour in here. So that's the first step. And the second step we have is 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. So I have my little thingy dingy here. I don't know what you call it, but I call it a thingy dingy. Measuring spoon. I can see my daughter laughing. Ooh, the things I do for my girl. So, what did I say it was now? 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. So this is a 1/2 tablespoon. So I'm going to put 3 in there. 1 basic, niche, sway. Basic, niche, sway. So we have our 3 1/2 tablespoons. If you hear that beep, that's my oven, it's ready. That's 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. So I use Magic baking powder. This is not a promo for Magic baking powder, but this is the one I always see my mom use. And so that's the one I'm going to use. So we have 5 roses, Magic baking powder, and next we have a little bit of salt. So I have my salt here. I don't have regular salt for some reason. I don't know why. I have pink rock salt and I have sea salt. So we're using sea salt. 1/2 teaspoon. So not a tablespoon, but 1/2 teaspoon. So here we go. 1/2 teaspoon. Yay! Oh, I'm making a mess. That's okay though. Okay. 1/2 teaspoon going in right now of salt. So as I was going to say about the salt, my mom, when she makes it, she doesn't put salt in it. And every time I go home to visit her, because she lives in Quebec, I always tell her, Mom, I'm coming for a visit. And she's like, oh, yay, like awesome, because I'm her favorite, of course, right? I'm the best daughter ever. Yeah, so when I tell her to make mine, I'm like, can you make me little bannocks? Because she makes these small, little, tiny fried bannocks. They are delicious. But anyway, I always tell her, and can you put a little bit of salt in it? Because she never uses salt because she doesn't really believe in using salt, which is fine. So anyway, she does for me because she loves me. She puts a little bit of salt in there for me. So what I'm going to do now is mix up the flour, the baking powder, and the salt all together because Auntie Kokum likes her salt and Auntie Kokum likes her likes her Paquajigan. Yeah, and we don't want to have like little hard pieces here and there, and you know, so it's really a good idea for you to whisk it. It actually makes it a little bit fluffier, and it mixes everything together super well. So we have that. All right, so that's done. So the next part we have here is 1 3/4 cup water. So what I like to do at this point, this is where it gets messy and where Julia might have to take over and talk for a bit while I wash it off my hands, is make, I don't know if you can see, but I'm gonna make a little well inside. Just a little bit like that, just a little tiny one like that. Probably can't really see it, but if you can imagine. I already measured out 1 3/4 cups, so I'm gonna put about 1 cup in there for now, maybe 1 1/2, and then I'll just kind of fold it in. And then everybody go like this, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. All right. Yay, okay. So that is about 1 cup, maybe 1 1/4 cup. So I'm just gonna start folding it in. So I've seen people that when they make this, what they do is they'll use forks and they'll fold it in, which is probably smarter than what I'm doing. But I like the feeling on my fingers, so I'm gonna do it this way. Yeah, so I'm just gonna fold it in. I can already see how it's kind of folding, and it's already sticking to my fingers, as you can see, which is fine. So just, you know, scrape it off a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so my sons are here, and they just wrote a note, was like, when was the last time you baked? Actually, I baked last night because I made a tester. I made a tester for today, so you don't have to wait 30 to 45 minutes for this to bake for you to see that finished product. So it's starting to form a little bit. It's still very, very doughy or floury. So that's when I know that I probably need to add more water. So I'm going to do that right now. Again, making that well in the middle. Add a little bit more. So there are things that you can also put in your scone /bannock. You can put like raisins, you can put blueberries. You know, someone probably in your community or near you makes like the best bannock or scone. And they probably have this really cool recipe that they don't ever want to share. And that's fine, they don't have to. So actually, you know, a little thing that I did last night, it worked out really well, was all the stuff on my fingers, I just pulled it off and I threw it in the garbage. Because I couldn't get it to go back in, but I'll just put it here for now. So it's forming nicely. There's still some, and what you don't want to do is knead it too much. I'm going to put the rest of the water in there. So Pudge says from his recipe is to knead it for about 3 minutes, but not a ton. Just keep, you know, folding it in, making sure that it's all sticking. You're going to have stuff left in your bowl. It's not going to be perfect. You know, nobody in the world is perfect. It's probably a good teaching for all of us. You know, we all do things differently. You're probably, you know, if you are a master scone or bannock maker, you might be looking at me right now going, oh my gosh, she's kneading too much. Oh my gosh, it's going to be like a hook. But it might not too, right? Who knows? Okay, so I'm going to wash my hands. And Julia is going to take over and just share something. I'm not quite sure what, but she always has good stories. Hey, Rich.
Thank you for this amazing workshop so far. It's going super well. So this is her home kitchen. This is where I learned to cook multiple things as well. Also in my grandmother's kitchen, I remember watching her cook bannock all the time. Her favorite is the fried bannock, the little itty bitty bannocks that she makes my mom every single time she comes up. And it's funny because she calls me, my nan calls me and she's like, "Hey, did you hear your mom's coming up? I'm gonna make those little bannocks for her. Do you think I should add salt this time?" Oh, but I remember this one time she had made the dough and we weren't sure if we were either going to put it in the oven or cut it up to make mini bannocks. What I ended up doing was actually using a cookie cutter. So I had some fun dinosaur cookie cutters when I was a kid, and I made dinosaur shaped scone. So if you're feeling creative and want to make a fancy shape for your scone or your I'm doing it too, bannock, feel free to grab some cookie cutters and use that to shape your scone as well. I have had many trial and errors with oven scone, oven bannock. Oh. I find that it takes the right amount of love to make it work. If you love it enough, it might just work. And always, always, always remember to put positivity into your bannock. If it doesn't work, that's completely okay. You can try again. It is not the end of the world. You might just get a little chunky from eating all that bannock because, you know, you can't not eat it.
Awesome. Miigwech. So that actually, you know what? When I was doing this, I just remembered I forgot to oil the pan. So that's something that you can do. Some people don't because they trust their scone or their bannock. I don't. I mean, kind of a newbie, but when I had you on mute, sorry, there's a little bit of coffee grounds in here. That might add to the taste too. Caffeinated bannock. Oh, I think I just came up with something. Okay, so I just put maybe a teaspoon of oil in here. I have a paper towel, and I'm just gonna wipe it around like this. Just so when I take it out after, that hopefully it just kind of pops out. That would be nice. So, got that. Toss that in the garbage. All right, so my scone's been sitting here, or my bannock's been sitting here for just a little bit, maybe over 2 minutes. It's looking pretty good, but what I would like to do is probably just give it a little bit more love. Put a little bit more of this. I don't know if you guys seen that, but I have a fan on, it's like going everywhere. Okay, so just a little bit. That over. This is awesome. So actually, when the mic was off, my youngest had said to me, "Are you going to tell them about all the times that you actually failed at doing the scone?" And I'm like, "Well, I could, but we'd be here for a really long time." So, not going to do that. But I'll just put this over here for now. Put a little bit of down here, just so it doesn't stick. So it kind of looks like this. And then I'm going to put it in here. So what I was thinking last night when I was doing this was, you know, it's not going to fit sometimes. Maybe it's too small, maybe it's too big. So I'm just going to leave that like that. And I'm going to put it in the oven. So that's how you prepare oven bannock, Auntie Kokum style. And we'll see how it turns out. It looks pretty good. It's a little misshapen, but that's okay. Maybe I should make it look like a heart. How do you say heart? in the
Oh,
language.
ode.
Ode. I'm going to make my equation again in the shape of an ode. It's going to be nice. So what I'll do after is, when I'm done this one, I'll post pictures, but I'll also post a picture of the one that I've already made. So there we go. I'm going to pop it in the oven. All right, so it's on. I put the timer on for 35 minutes for that. So that's the scone or the oven band. That's how you make that. Yeah. So when you're done at the end, you're gonna need a cooling rack or something to, or you can just let it cool in the pan, however you want to do it. Usually when I make it, people burn their fingers because they're trying to eat it really fast. So, you know, that's a lesson that they have to learn in patience. Yeah, so we have that. So while I clean up, Julia or Neil, oh, did you want to share something, Jewel?
Yes, we just have a question from Ashley. She was just wondering what temperature you're baking at.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's at 375. So 375 until for about 35 to 40 minutes. I put it on 35 because I have a convection oven, so it bakes pretty quickly. Yeah, so 375 for 35 to 40 minutes. Any other questions? All right. Okay, so I'm going to clean up, and Julia or Neil can take over. Miigwech.
Awesome. Mishin. Miigwech, Mom. I don't know, Mr. Meneg, do you make bannock or scone at home? Are you eating some right now?
I made some last night,
Ooh.
but I had to throw it out.
It's no
I
good.
hit a tree. I hit a tree with it, and the tree fell down.
Just a
I don't know how to
brick
make
bannock.
that. That's one thing I don't know how to make. I used to make it when I was single, but as I got a little bit older, I just didn't have the knack for it. So maybe I needed it too much, or other things. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Oh, good. Yeah, like when your mom was talking about Ms. Wabi was talking about the bannock versus the scone. I believe that the bannock is made on stick, kind of like a flatbread, I believe. And then this one here is like what everybody called it was scone. So there's two different types. You got the baked scone, the fried bread, and then you got the bannock. I believe that's how that is. I'm not sure. I cook other things myself. I like cooking, putting things together and cooking. Like I have what I call stew soup. And my kids like it, so. But about, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that idea of showing how to cook things on. When you can't do it face to face, it's good on virtual because you get a better idea of what goes into putting something like that together, right? And like Ms. Wabi was saying that she said that it's a necessity. It's one of the necessities that I grew up with when I was young, because I live on an island, and back in the day when I was growing up, it was either fried bread or baked scone, and because of the situation that we were in, like we only had about 6 runs a day, like on a boat, and it was hard to get things across. So my parents would always buy a 100-pound bag of flour and a big tin of baking powder, along with what they call lard, Ojibwe butter, and And that was our food, basically, because it was like a lot of the people here in my community didn't have jobs, and the logging was only done in the wintertime. So you kind of had to know what was there. Like last night, my mom used to always keep leftovers. That was a meal in itself, and so you had two meals out of one meal. But that baked bread or fried bread were the two main staples that we had, along with like whatever was there. That's what we ate. Sometimes we'd only have the baked scone, and then my mom would put something together with that, and it was good. So it was one of the staples, like your mother said, it's one of our staples way back in the day, because that's one of the things that we had to learn how to eat, because a lot of the stuff that, and then the occasional loaf of bread would come into the house, and that was something else. That was really different, totally different. And but again, like I said, it's wonderful how those things come to when you think about things, and how you watch your mom cook that, your grandmother cook that, and put that together. I think my loss in making scone was probably I kneaded it too much, and I forgot to throw it against the wall and pull it off and put it in the pan. But again, it's something that it's need. It's a need. I think we may have to go back to that, I think, at some point, because sometimes when things get all hectic and there's not enough money to buy a lot of food, that is something else. But then again, you got the outside, like there's a lot of food out there. Pretty soon we'll be gathering beech nuts, and a lot of people use beech nuts to decorate their cake, pie, or whatever they have. And oh, and it was nice. It's really nice. I like that. But I have to wrestle the chipmunks with the beech nuts, because they overpower me sometimes because of the amount of chipmunks that I have in my yard. But again, like I said, that scone though is, and like Joey said, that scone is a staple, and you cook that. And I remember my dad, he would slice that, and he would get a pan and put it on the stove, and there was a little bit of water in there, and he'd put that bread, that sliced scone, into that frying pan. And then he'd take it out and put it on, and that's what one of our meals were. And it was pretty neat. It was pretty good how they did that. I love that way. I loved it. It seemed a little soggy, but it wasn't. It's what they put on it that made the big difference. So it was good. It was good stuff. But again, like they say now in the nutritionists come along, and it's not good for us. Look at me. I'm still here. I eat scone. Wow. But it's good. So I'm on my way to Chelmsford, and I'm going to go have that scone and see what it looks like. And there she is dancing, of course. Me too, look. Anyway, that's all I have right now. Anyway, thank you. Miigwech.
Oh, miigwech, Neil, for sharing all of those lovely stories. If you are going up to Chelmsford, could you pick me up on the way?
Don't be lying down.
Okay. Looks like we are ready to continue. Is that right?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, I'll let you take over.
All right, so now we're going to make our no-cook jam. Our scone bannock / bannock is in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. So our no-cook jam is super simple. I actually made this last night just to try it out to see if it worked. And I checked this morning the pectin in it, and it works. So super happy about that. Yeah, so the recipe itself calls for berries. So you can have raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, whatever you want. Mix them up, do half blackberries, you know. I actually, I'll share a little bit about this this guy that was actually coming through town, and he said on Facebook, he's like, I'm selling jams. He's like, if anybody wants any, you can just EMT me, and I'll drop off jam. I'm like, oh, sweet. So he's an Indigenous chef. His name is Charles Ketchpole. So he dropped them off, and I never tried them before. They're blueberry mint. There's blueberry tarragon, Saskatoon berry, all of those different kinds. And I wasn't too sure because I'm very iffy about when you start mixing stuff like that because I'm very picky. It was so good. Like, it was like phenomenal. So Charles Ketchpole on Facebook, Charger Foods, I believe it's called. Char for Charles, and then GER for his wife, I believe. Just getting back to our no-cook jam, I have just cut up the strawberries. They're all cut up, took all the I don't know what you call this, the leaves off of it, put them in this. So this here is I'm gonna kind of cheat on this one because I don't have a hand blender, but I do have a Ninja. I don't know if everyone knows what a Ninja blender is. I think it's called a Ninja blender. So I'll just put that off to the side. So the recipe itself, there's only 4 ingredients in this. So there's the berries, the sugar, the liquid pectin, and the lemon juice. So 4 ingredients, and it's so easy to make. So I'm just gonna mute for a second, and I'm going to turn on my blender just to crush these berries. Maybe you want to share a little bit about strawberries and the Anishinaabe name for it?
So, strawberries. In the language, we call them odemin, which reflects on the heart shape of it. That ode, heart, and odemin is the strawberry. There are so many teachings that go into berries themselves and the importance that they hold in our culture. I know that I frequently see odemin at feasts and as a part of ceremony. It's also a part of berry fast teachings. So for young women coming into their first moon time, there's a rite of passage called a berry fast where they're provided with women's teachings, and it's a wonderful rite of passage. But just to avoid talking about it for a long period of time, we actually discussed berries and their teachings in a previous session. So that's actually available in our Facebook group right now, where we really talked about, what it is to be a woman and how those berries hold importance in our lives. I know that I use berries for every meal. Usually in the morning, I start my day with berries. I have a berry smoothie. And I find I feel better having the odemin in the morning. I also have blueberries and the raspberries, which I believe are miskomen and minan. I'm not getting interrupted by Neil, so I must be pronouncing them somewhat correctly. But if you have different words for berries, in your language, either, Ojibwe, Cree, maybe we have some Haudenosaunee up in here today, but drop that in. Let us know how you say these berries. That'd be great.
Awesome. I like how you said that. Any Haudenosaunee up in here? Is there anything in the chat? I know it's been popping up quite a bit, but I haven't been able to check it.
Yeah, so we were just talking about, so Melissa shared that she makes bannock, but she doesn't measure anything and crosses her fingers all the time. So she actually made the recipe today with you, so she would know actual measurements to feel better about it in the future. So we've rescued one person. And I also said that like Nanny Kokum, she doesn't usually measure with like measuring cups. I remember I called her one time to make oven bannock because I was craving it, I was like, okay, well, how much of this? And she's like, well, I don't know, two cups maybe. I'm like, okay, well, how much baking powder? She's like, I don't know, just maybe a tablespoon, a heaping one maybe. And so trying to actually make it without someone there showing you is super difficult. So that's kind of why we did this workshop in itself. But it is super helpful to learn alongside someone. So someone who has experience making it, usually they have all the tips and tricks on how to fix it if you've over kneaded it, or you've put too much water or not enough. But it's a great learning experience. And we have Tasha who said lard on toast is good, yummy. I've never tried it. I've never tried lard on toast. I usually put margarine or jam on my bannock if it's oven bannock. If it's fried bannock, it's usually accompanied with what we call hangover soup, and I usually just dunk it in the soup. And we actually have someone who says, oh my gosh, I lost it here. Hold on. My grandmother eyeballs her recipe, but it always comes out so fluffy. Does anyone put milk in theirs? And I have put milk in mine in the past. I know Kokum puts milk in hers sometimes instead of water. I think adding milk makes it like bougie, like it's really fancy on, So if you can afford to put milk in your scone, you're just on the higher end of all of us. And it does come out super fluffy and delicious. And Damien said, when you said it would be amazing if someone was cooking with me, he got up and started cooking with you. So he's cooking in his kitchen alongside you. So you're not alone. There are people cooking with you.
Congrats, Damien.
Awesome. Oh, and Neil says his mom and his wife use milk. So yeah.
I've heard that before too. And some people put an egg in there. You know what I was curious about when I was making it last night? Because I made another scone last night, is what if you put like soda water, like the bubbly stuff? I don't know if that would make a difference. But we have moved on to no cook jam. All right, so we are going to make the no cook jam. So as I said, crush the berries already. Use my Ninja blender. Just a second. Awesome. Okay. So crush my berries with my Ninja blender. So it says here in the recipe, 1 3/4 cup of crushed berries, 4 cups of sugar, 1 pouch of liquid pectin, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So with that, I'm going to measure how much I have in here, and then I'm going to do the recipe accordingly, because I don't think I have 1 3/4 cup of berries. So you are all going to witness my math skills. All right, let's do this. Or stew this. Scoot in. All right. So we have 1 cup. So 1 cup. I'm just going to half the recipe. It's probably easier that way. So 1 cup of crushed berries. I'm going to put that in my bowl. So I'm going to mix berries and sugar all together. So there is my berries. I'll put that off to the side. So if I'm halving my recipe, I'm just going to pull this over a little bit. 4 cups of sugar is going to be 2 cups of sugar. Oh, crap. Okay, so this is my half cup. I'm going to have to use a half cup. So 4 of these. So, see here, we have Beijing. I can't remember it already. Beijing.
Niche.
Yeah, I knew that. Okay. Niche. So that's 1 cup. sue, 1.5. And we have niwen. Basic, niche, swag, niwen. Half cup equals 2 cups. So I washed my whisk that I used earlier. Just gonna mix it in. I don't know if you can really see it, but I'm just mixing it in. Mix it till it's blended, and it's mixing pretty good. So after I mix this all together, I'm going to, let's see what the next step is. Let's stand for 10 minutes. So right now, I'm still just mixing it. It's the consistency is almost like pancake mix. So, yeah, so the berries and the sugar are all mixed together. And we're going to wait 10 minutes for this before we continue. But while I do that, I'm going to actually pull out, while the 10 minutes are waiting, I'm going to pull out the scone that I made last night, and I'm going to show you what it looks like, and the same exact recipe as the one in the oven. You ever watch cooking shows? I haven't watched cooking shows in like ages, and I was thinking about like Cooking with the Wolfman. I don't know if everyone remembers him, but my parents used to watch that, and also something about Cooking with Wok or something. I don't know what it was, but it was this gentleman, and he'd make all these really cool Asian dishes. It was awesome. Anyway, so if the Wolfman is ever gonna watch this, that would be so cool. Okay, I'm gonna put that off to the side. Put my phone on for 10 minutes. Just see here. Okay, 10, oh, that's 13 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm just gonna let it sit there. I'm going to pull over the scone that I made last night. I wrapped it up. And this is my cooling rack. I got this at Dollarama. Dollar store, you can get it at Walmart, stuff like that. That was my son. So here we have the scone that I made, bannock that I made last night. Not in the shape of a heart, unfortunately, because that was like a spur of the moment decision. Last night I was trying to be super strict, and with myself. So I'm gonna just give a little bit of a cut to this. And I put on top of it a little bit of butter, salted butter. So kind of, I loved that part because my dad actually, he used to make the best oven bannock, like the best. And when I think about, when I made it last night, I was thinking of him. All right, so, oh my gosh, surprised myself, look at this. I did it. I did it. I did it. All right. My son took half of it. Okay. So, and it doesn't have to be perfectly cut. It doesn't have to be perfectly anything really. But just I'm gonna cut off a piece here. I'm gonna taste it. So this is what it looks like. It's not that bad. It actually tastes good for once. And Alex says it actually tastes good for once. My little joker. All right, so I'm heading to camp after this. I'm gonna bring this to camp. I'm gonna eat it at camp. Keep this piece out because it's delicious. Oh, Alex just stole it. So I'm gonna put this back in here, wrap it up, and take that to camp. He just took my piece that I needed. I gotta cut another one. I'm gonna cut one just for the jam that we're making. So I'm gonna put this here. We're gonna hold on to that until it's time for the jam to be ready.
So we have Anna in the chat who says it's walk with Jan or Yan.
Walk with Yan?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that was it. He was so funny. If you guys can YouTube it and watch it, my parents used to love it. Yeah. Cooking with Juan? Oh,
Yep.
oh, cooking for Juan. We're cooking with Juan. Anyway,
With
I'm just gonna
Juan.
stir this occasionally as the recipe calls for. It's looking pretty good.
I was just thinking that maybe we should also like have a warning on our recipe that says like, be careful because your bannoc's gonna disappear real quick.
Yeah.
It's definitely a food that is meant to be shared with people. I know that when I make it, I live with my husband and my brother-in-law, and I rarely even get a little piece. So it takes a lot of love on the maker's part to be able to like give it to other people. So you also learn to gift things as well when you're making this food. It's often used like at feasts as well. It's a common staple. And I find it's one of those comfort foods. Like if I'm missing home or, you know, just missing, you know, my grandfather, I make this oven bannock, and, you know, I keep my fingers crossed that he's got his hands over mine while I'm eating it, that he can put his love into it. But yes, be careful because your scone will disappear very quick.
Awesome. So we have about 6 minutes left before we put in the pectin and the lemon juice. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about any of what we've done so far. I think Julia's checking.
Let me see. Letitia says that her fried bannock is good, but her oven bannock won't rise. And then she said, LMAO, maybe I'm just not putting enough to fill the pan. So maybe it is rising, but just not enough. Damien says, miigwech for teaching. And Neil says he likes scone when they use berries, blackberries and raspberries. I know that there's also this like dessert version of bannock that I've had before where people add sugar to it, and they'll make more of a sweeter bannock to be made with for dessert, so you can have it with like jam and whipped cream and all the delicious stuff. So there's also the option of making it for dessert rather than like an addition to your stew, or, you know, just a snack, because it's that good.
Nice. Awesome. I just remembered I was going to talk a little bit more about Charles Catchpole's business, which I'm not getting endorsed for either, but I just really like it. So these are preserves. This is blueberry tarragon, and he actually has it in Cree syllabics, and then in Anishinaabewan, and then in English at the bottom. So there is his blueberry tarragon. Then we have cranberry cinnamon. So that's probably good for around turkey time or, you know, holidays. So that's another one. Then we have this one I can't wait to try, strawberry basil. So two of my favorite things, strawberry and basil. I think that's going to be good. And then also we have Saskatoon berry. So that's another one. And he actually has little hints on the side here. So suggested uses. So great with a cheese platter for the Saskatoon berry, over wild game, or on baked bannock. That's awesome, because that's what we have. So that's all of those. And then like all the other ones have different ones. So strawberry basil, good with grilled cheese, stuffed French toast, grilled chicken, or as a topping for baked brie. So if anybody wants to look him up on Facebook, his name is Charles Catchpole, and his indigenous owned business is Charger Foods, which is pretty cool. And I really like when we're able to support us ourselves as indigenous people, and really promote that. So another thing also is with the earrings that I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see them, but these earrings were made by three little, not little, young women from Temiskaming First Nation, Three Little Bears they're called, and they own a small little business, and they sell earrings and they bead a bunch of different things. So, you know, I think that as Anishinaabe people, Cree people, Haudenosaunee, that we really need to be promoting Indigenous owned businesses and promoting our people. So I try to do that every day in some way. Yeah. I'm just waiting for my jam to cook. Oh no, not cook. I'm just waiting for my no-cook jam. 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. I actually heard you're not supposed to say ladies and gentlemen anymore, so I apologize for that. I think we're supposed to say like, hey, human beings. Right? Because, you know, there's more than two genders, and that's okay. And, you know, historically, our people were so accepting, and there was always more than two genders. So that's just a little bit something that I've learned over the years. I'm going to get my pectin ready. So actually, I found this pectin at Walmart. I was searching and searching for it. There's two different kinds. There's the crystals. The crystals you have to cook, but the liquid you don't. So if you can find the liquid pectin, that would be awesome. So it says for homemade jams and jellies. There's 2 pouches in here. Certo liquid pectin. So I'll just open it up. All right. So because remember, I halved my recipe. I can only use half of this somehow. All right. This should be interesting. All right, so I did step 1. Now we're doing step 2. So step 2 is you add the pectin. That's the timer. Add the pectin and also the juice. Stir for 3 minutes or until most of the sugar is dissolved. And then you're going to pour it into a clean jar. And I do have clean jars. But first, I'm going to do this. So about half. So it's about up to there. So I'm going to use about that much. All right. Okay, that's good. So that's about half. I'm going to put that over here because I don't want to lose that or waste that. Lemon juice, 2 tablespoons. Okay, so I only have half a tablespoon here, so I have to have 4 half tablespoons is 2 tablespoons. So you want to count with me. Basic. Oops. Oh wait, not 2. I'm only going to do 1. Why did nobody stop me? My math skills are horrendous. Okay, I'm only doing 1. All right, so basic niche. Half tablespoons equals 1 tablespoon, not 2. Anyone that would have this jam would be like, very puckery. All right, so I'm going to mix it in for 3 minutes. I want to put my trusty timer back on. All right, so got my 3 minutes on. And just going to keep stirring it. And so when the next step here says to pour into a clean jar, it says plastic container, cover with a tight fitting lid because you don't want to get any air in there to spoil what you've made. So I'm just going to keep stirring. I have a mason jar that I'm going to put this in with the lid. And it's actually a really great gift too. So, you know, if you're not going to eat it, then you can gift it. Right? Right. Yeah. So I hope everyone is ready for the start of the new school year. You know, academics, I always love September for that, you know, except for this year, of course, because of the pandemic and all of the precautions and safety that's coming along with that. very concerned about that. You know, especially with elders and, you know, the young people and the people that have health issues that are compromised. But you know what, I think that we have many respectful people in our communities that actually, you know, are following those safety precautions and keeping our people safe. Because really that is key, right? Our health. If we don't have health, we don't have anything. Especially in the Anishinaabe or, you know, Indigenous communities. And when I say Indigenous, I mean First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people. Sorry, Inuit. I don't want to say Inuit people because I'm saying people. Okay, so that time, if you just heard that, that's our bannock. I'm get my trusty oven mitts. I'll be right back.
While you're getting it out of the oven, Neil thinks that you should have your own cooking show because you're a funny cook, and you should call it Walk with Wobby. And walk like WALK because you walk around your kitchen. Yeah?
Walking with Bobby.
Oh, we have a supporter.
All right, so this is, I can't believe I just did that. This is I'm getting all mixed up now. This is actually for the bottom of a roasting pan, but I'm gonna use it for this. So, sorry, I just gotta turn my oven off. All right, I'm back. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep stirring this a little bit. I took my scone out, my oven bannock out, and I can't lift it up without, just gonna get, it's my work. Okay, so I can pour that, getting all stressed out. Okay, so this is, yeah, baby. Oh crap, that's heavy. This is my oven bannock. Quite proud of myself. I'm gonna move this over here, put that there. I don't know if you can see it. This is my oven bannock. Can you all see it? It looks, no? Okay, well, I'll take a picture after and I'll show it to you. It grew, it got big, which is nice. Yeah, okay, so this is ready. We are going to put this in a clean jar. And I'm just gonna grab my clean container. This looks clean. This is clean. All right. So that's clean too. Just gonna grab something to go on top. That one doesn't fit. This one fits. This one fits. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna pour this, what I just made, into here. Oh yeah, baby, look at that.
Didn't even need a funnel.
I know, I'm that good. So I just leave a little bit of space at the top. It's just a little gooey right now. It's not ready. So it takes about 24 hours to set. I was gonna lick my hand, but then I'd have to wash my hands again. So I'll just wipe it here. So you have your lid. I'll put my lid on. And then also, just going to do this. So, really tight. This is done. This you let sit outside, like room temperature, for 24 hours. So from now it's 1:11. So at 1:11 tomorrow, it's going to be ready. It'll be jam. Jam.
Are you going to bring it to camp with you?
I am. But ta-da! I already have one. I made it last night, so this is all ready to go. So I'm going to actually, it was about, I'm kind of going to tell you what time I made it at. It was like 2 a.m. So at 2 a.m., I'm going to have to put it in the fridge. But anyway, so this is what my finished one looks like. All I did, just going to open it up for a minute. You can see it's, well, you can't see, but I'll show it to you in a minute. This is the size of a saucer. So I use the saucer like this, okay? And then I cut a piece of fabric, put the lid on, put this over top, and then I put it on like that. Tight it on tight, looks pretty, ready to go. I also recommend putting a little sticker on there, which I don't have, on the date that you made it and what's in it. For me, I probably won't do that because I don't make this. I'll just know this is the jam that I made that one time. But some people make like tons of jam and tons of different things. Like my friend Shelly, I said she makes like pickle this, and she does like preserves, and she does like tons of stuff. And she's from Chimneson, and she actually makes tons of stuff like this. So I'm gonna put that off to the side. I actually left a little bit out of my original one from yesterday. I'm just gonna open it up. I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna try and show you the consistency. So this is the consistency. As you can see, can you see that? It's just like jam. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the pieces of bannock that I made last night. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on it. Some people like to put like butter first. I don't like butter that much, but I like it on top, as I said. All right. That's good. That's good. Okay, I'll put it down for a second. For this, the one that came out of the oven, I just remembered, you have to put butter on there, right? So it actually is going to have that taste. So I'm going to take my butter out, bring it over here, open it up. And usually you use a little like a baster. I don't have a baster, but I do have this, which I can use kind of like that. So, and remember it's hot. So just when you're putting it on, just remember that. So going like this and this, and it starts to melt. Maybe I waited too long. I hope I didn't. But so you put that all on, it melts in, and then it gives it like a little bit of a salty taste on top. And if you don't like a lot of salt, or you have, you know, heart issues or anything like that, you don't have to put this part on. Or you can use base sal. I know my dad was had his heart problems. He used base sal because it's heart friendly. So you can also put that on there. So I'm just going to put it in a little more with my with my paper towel. I am super happy to be able to do this with everybody. This was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. So I hope, you know, that you're able to take a look at this after and, you know, maybe laugh, you know, have fun, share it with people. Julia is going to be putting up the recipes for everybody, so you're going to have access to that. And I think that's it, unless I'm forgetting anything. Does anyone, am I forgetting anything, Julia? No. Okay, does anyone have any questions for me?
Anna says, Walalio, for doing this. It's been so great. I appreciate you all sharing and helping me make this. Melissa says, yummy. Neil wants to know what the ingredients are again for the jam. But I will send you an email, Neil, with the recipes for all of this so you have it. And also it's going to be on our Facebook group. So it'll be available there where you can watch the session and have the recipes and everything beside you while you're working through it. And we have someone else that says chimichurri for this, looks tasty. Their fridge is being serviced, so they're gonna go ahead and do this after that service man leaves. And Damien says he just pulled his bannock out of the oven.
Oh, awesome. I want to see it if you want to show it, Damien.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, Damien.
Well, this was fun. And I'm
Sorry. Yeah, there. I don't know how to flip the camera around. Not too bad.
Okay, that looks awesome. Right on.
Thank
Now
you
we're
for
bannock, now we're bannock buddies.
I gotta perfect it.
Woo-hoo!
Nishan.
Bewitched.
Awesome. And then Tash is just saying, chimichurri, this was fun. And I agree. It is always fun to watch my mother perform the way she does because she's just an awesome cook. But I do look forward to next weekend when I come up and visit. I'm going to taste that jam, so please try to save some. You're muted now.
Here are the earrings. They have the 4 colors in them.
Awesome. Oh, someone says my mom won't teach me. It's a trade secret. Awesome. Neil, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Not really.
No?
I'm good.
Okay.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I wasn't going to come on, but I decided to. And I'm glad I did.
Auntie Kokum is happy.
We need to get you your own show, though.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking about Auntie Beatrice. Does everybody know who that is? She's a comedian. She's like, Auntie Beatrice here. Anyway, I'm like, I'm going to be Auntie Kokum, but I can't steal her stuff. She's too funny. Anyway, she's amazing. Now I'm Auntie Kokum.
You got your own stuff.
That's right.
There. Thank you so much.
Now how?
I hope our paths will cross again soon. Take care.
Mama.
Mama.
The golfing gods are calling. Be safe and travel well.
Miigwech.
Miigwech.